Hello everyone, this is a short video concerning a beginning of programming process that should be taken when you are starting to design a program. The first step is to come up with an algorithm. An algorithm is a set of well-designed logical steps that must take place in order to solve a problem. When you have a scenario, you have to determine what steps are needed in order to generate the correct result. When you decide on an algorithm, these would be the steps that you need to relay to the computer so the computer can execute your program. Therefore, you need to think in terms of a computer, and you have to be very detailed in your steps. Sometimes we may come up with an algorithm mentally, but a lot of the steps we may assume or just step over because it's something that we automatically will do without thinking of. However, when you specify the algorithm for the computer, you must make sure every step is listed. One tool that is used in programming is the creation of pseudocode. Pseudocode is just a shorthand way of jotting down your algorithm or jotting down the steps that you want your program to follow in order then to generate the correct results you want. So pseudocode is English-like phrases. The more you do pseudocode, the more it resembles code because you start putting in actually code-like statements into your pseudocode because you're just used to writing code. But what it is just a helpful tool for you to logically specify the steps that you want to make sure your program includes. All programs follow the input process output cycle. This cycle involves input that your program will take and use to process to generate an output. So when you think about your program, you need to then block off the various tasks you want to follow. You first need to identify those that relate to input, then those that relate to processing, and then those that relate to output. All programming languages will have these steps. Input. Input is how you get data into your program so then it can do your processing and generate the results you want. Now, depending on your program, input can come from a variety of avenues. It can come from your GUIs. It can come from the keyboard, text box, mouse click, voice, file. So there are a lot of ways you have for your input, and once you decide on how you want your input to come in, will determine right away the code that is used then to program it. All programming languages will have the code to accommodate all these varieties of input. Now with input, it's important to also include instructions or input prompts. Input prompts are telling the user what to do. So make sure with all input requests that you have instructions or prompts so the user knows what to do. Once you get your input, you want to make sure you store it. You will store it in variables. Variables are memory locations that are used throughout your program. You give these memory locations a symbolic name or word that makes sense to you, and it is this area that captures the input, stores it for you, and you reference it by the name. And the name is what you will use throughout your program, and then the process is what you do with these variables. You can calculate with them, and also when you have a process, you may have results. So you may need more variables to then store your results from your calculations. Output. Output, again, is what you want to do to interact with your user. You will have then output that will display your results or input prompts that will tell the user what to do. Varied delivery modes can be the screen, printer, file, and again, all programming languages will have the code related to your delivery mode. So once you decide on what the delivery mode is, the code is automatically written for you.